Fireworks on the first day of hearings to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, with Senate Democrats calling for the hearings to be adjourned because of missing documents from Kavanaugh's time as a lawyer in the Bush White House. Senator Cory Booker was a major voice leading the protest among Democrats today, and he offered this theory about why the president chose Kavanaugh.
We have one judge being chosen who was not on the original list. He wasn't on the outsourced Federalist Society's original list. He wasn't on the second version of that list. He got onto that list after this special investigation got going. In other words, after the president was in jeopardy. He was added to the list, and then the president pulled the one person from all of that list that it was added late that would give him, in a sense, the ability to pick a judge that has already spoken vastly about a president's ability to be prosecuted, about a president's ability to dismiss or end an investigation.
Cory Booker joins me now. Good evening, sir. So much to talk to you about, okay, about what happened today in the hearings. But just on what you were saying there, do you think Kavanaugh was chosen solely because of his views on presidential powers?
Well, I think that, and I've already pulled a lot of the law on recusal, and one big part of that is this idea of an appearance of impropriety. If a judge believes that by ruling on a case, by being involved in a case, he will undermine people's, legitimately, the reasonable person, actually, it says, faith in the system. And I think that anybody who is looking at this, to see Donald Trump picking somebody who wasn't on his original outsourced list, as I said, but picking the one guy from his later list that was added to the list after the Mueller investigation started, in which Donald Trump is under criminal investigation right now, and is an unindicted co-conspirator according to his personal attorney. That for him to pick the one person who has said, hey, I don't think a president could be prosecuted, I think a president can end an investigation, he's spoken significantly about this. So I think it raises enough suspicions that Judge Kavanaugh should commit to recusing himself on this, because no one's above the law, not even the President of the United States. Okay. No one is above the law, and fundamental to our legal system is you should not be able to pick the judge that's going to rule on your case.
And that was in some of the statements today to him, some of that was said. But I've got to ask you, and I'm going to talk to you about the president and Robert Mueller and what's going on. But what was behind this passion this morning on the Democratic side they wanted to adjourn, you wanted to go into, I guess, executive session? Was this one Republican senator said, hey, listen, this is coordinated, was it coordinated? Take us behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us, myself and some of the other members, were just saying, this is not normal. There's nothing normal about this. And for days I've been saying we've got to make sure we're doing something to just try to create some fairness to this process, because it's patently unfair. You heard a lot of talk about Republicans saying, hey, he's released more documents than the last folks combined. That's absolutely true, but this man has such a large body of documents, including his time as in the White House counsel's office, that we're actually getting such a small fraction that we only have about 10% of the total body of work, especially in a section that he himself called his formative period. And so you and I wouldn't hire interns in our office with only seeing 10% of their resumes.
So you think they're hiding something, Senator?
I believe that there are things in those documents that they don't want out into the public.
Like
they're trying to rush. I don't know what, but remember, my colleague Dick Durbin called him the sort of Forrest Gump of Republican politics. He's been in the center of so many of the biggest controversies of the last 20 years, whether it was the Starr investigations of Bill Clinton, whether it was the debates inside the White House about torture, so many things that are relevant to his role on the Supreme Court. The public, what are they hiding? And by the way, if they're not hiding anything, this isn't about creating a delay for months. This could be just a matter of a few weeks of getting these documents out, allowing us the time to read through them, because last night they dumped about 40,000 pages on us right before, which nobody has time to read.
All right, I get what you're saying, and that was my next question. How much time? And you said it would be a few weeks. You're not talking about a few months. I do want to get to the president, but quickly, if you can answer this for me, do you think that this plays into the narrative that the president says and Republicans say that you're obstructionists, that the Democrats are obstructionists?
No, I think that the reasonable person looking at this in an objective fashion would say, wait a minute, they should be able to read these documents. Now, I do say that we should not be, we should put a pause in the whole process, independent from the document problem, based upon the fact that he should not be able to pick his own lawyer. There's something really that undermines the entire system, that we have a president that is credibly under criminal investigation, that is credibly a subject of a criminal investigation.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is all happening against renewed questions about the president sitting down with the special counsel, and sources are telling CNN that Mueller threatened to subpoena the president back in March. That would likely be contested by the president's lawyers and end up before the Supreme Court. Should that scenario be a factor, you think, in confirming Kavanaugh?
Absolutely. If the president, again, you know from the timeline that seems to be coming out from whether it's the book that just came out or other things, the timeline seems to be adding up that the president is making this choice when he knows he's already in some kind of legal jeopardy. And so he's trying to pick the person that can best protect him from these investigations. And he clearly has done that, given the list that the Federalist Society picked. So that is germane to this debate that we're having. And I think, again, a reasonable person should say, would come down to the conclusion that, wait a minute, the President of the United States is not above the law. They cannot pick their own judge.
Senator Cory Booker, you got a big day tomorrow. You had a big day today, a big day tomorrow. We'll let you get some sleep. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. No, thank you, Don. Thank you so much.